Hello, this is Amanda Kelly with this art called Life. So in honor of it being December, happy December guys, and in honor of it being basically like winter, I wanted to come on here and talk about the light. I woke up this morning and it was literally like 10 degrees colder. I live in Miami Beach and it's probably a lot warmer than most places around the world and especially around the United States. It's like the high was 66 today. It's not terrible, but it was a sudden drop. Yesterday I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt and today I'm like in a sweater. So I was like, oh wow, winter is here and now we are officially entering the season of darkness. So I was just inspired because it goes beyond the actual weather that we're facing, the regular seasonal change that we're going through. We are facing what a lot of people are calling a dark winter. So I wanted to come on and talk about the importance of grounding in the light, because right now more than ever it is super important. And the good news is there is actually more light coming in than ever before. So I wanted to speak into that because it's also in the midst of winter being the season of darkness. December always brings a lot of light with it as well because of the holidays. It's the season of hope. It's the season of light in the midst of the season of the dark. So I think it's really quite symbolic, especially for what we're going through now. And, just think about the holidays. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. Christmas, we tend to decorate with a lot of fairy lights. I love to decorate. There's sparkly ornaments everywhere. At least mine are all sparkly. So I really think that it is more important than ever to focus on the light and to ground it down, to anchor it in, because here's the thing: the light illuminates the dark. The light illuminates what we tend to sweep under the rug. So we're not actually going to be able to ignore everything. This isn't about spiritual bypassing. It's not about toxic positivity. It is about holding and anchoring in the light more firmly and more completely than ever before, so that we can transmute the dark, so that we can actually face it, so that we can face the shadows, face what we have swept under the rug. Because right now, that's basically what is happening in the world at a collective level. We are basically, light is pouring in and it is illuminating what has been hidden in the shadows. It's illuminating what has been swept under the rug. So the light always does illuminate the dark in ways that sometimes is not that comfortable. So we have to get really comfortable, really grounded in the light. And in that way, the light will help us it helps to shed awareness of what has been hidden in the dark, in the closets and swept under the rug. So once we are aware of it, then we can fully acknowledge that it exists, that it is there. And this is at a personal level, it's at an individual level, as well as at the collective level. If we are not aware of what's in the dark, of what's been hidden, suppressed, and kind of swept under the rug, if we're not aware of it first, there's no way we're going to be able to heal it. So that's what's going on at a collective level. It's also what we need to focus on an individual level. But what we need to do is to really anchor that light in and to get really grounded in our meditation, get really grounded in our body, get really clear on the fact that there is hope. That light at the end of the tunnel is there, and the light has in fact already won. We just have to keep going. We have to go through the heart of darkness. We have to go through that dark tunnel to get to the other side. Because we need to heal the dark, we need to transmute the dark and fully integrate it into the light. That is the process that we are all going through right now. And it is incredibly important that we, each and every one of us, show up and do that work. and really anchor in the light. Light workers, I am calling you out in particular. It is on us right now to really, really anchor that in. But this is also anybody who is ready to step out of the fear, to step into their power. In order to step into our power, in order to fully reclaim our power, we need to acknowledge and integrate the dark, because it's when we integrate the dark, it's when we really face those shadows, then we can transmute them into the light, and the light actually becomes more complete. It becomes more whole. And that's what this is all about. It's really healing back to wholeness. And I do believe that we are actually already whole, but we have been living in this paradigm of separation, of polarity based in fear. And what we need to do now is reintegrate that. We need to heal that fear. We need to release it so that we can, and really face it so that we can integrate it, embrace it, and transmute it. And from there, we are actually far more whole than we would have been before. The light becomes more complete. We release this separation. We're integrating the light and the dark, the fear and the love. And fear is underlying hate, it's underlying anger, it's underlying all of these dense, heavy, negative emotions. So what we need to do is to bring them back together, to integrate it. It's like the masculine and the feminine need to be integrated. It's the yin and the yang coming together to create that perfect balance. And without the dark, the light cannot be fully expressed. And that's what's interesting about it. We tend to want to sweep the dark under the rug and just focus on the light. But that's basically what toxic positivity is. That's basically what spiritual bypassing is. And in order to actually truly fully step into the light, to be the light, to fully reclaim our power and shine bright, we need to face the dark and not be scared of it. We need to go through that heart of darkness. We need to go through the fire and let that all burn away so that we can rise up from the ashes more whole, more complete, and more healed than ever before. Every time we go through this crucible of transformation, it's also Transformation Tuesday. Sorry, I used to do a lot of Transformation Tuesday stuff. So every time we go through and transmute it and transform it, we become even more powerful. So it's super, super important to actually face it head on, to feel it, to allow it to come up. It's been bubbling and coming up to the surface. And this is why we're kind of in this situation that's based in chaos and fear and confusion and uncertainty, because we're not really clear on how to grapple with the dark, because we haven't been taught how to do so. We've been taught to ignore it, to suppress it, to repress those dark emotions on an individual level, collectively to ignore the dark shadows that exist in our society. We have been told that everything is hunky-dory when it's really not. So we really have to go within and find the light within, to reignite that light, and to stand in our truth and we need to tap back into our intuition first and foremost, and to really be clear on what is true. Our intuition always knows. We always know what is true, what is right, what is good for us in any given moment. We have just been conditioned to ignore that, to tune it down, to turn down the dial on our intuition. So we are not comfortable with that. We are not comfortable trusting our gut. We're not comfortable following those niggles and trusting ourselves. We do not trust ourselves, and that's really one of the biggest issues that we face, because the more of us that do actually tune in and tap into that inner power, that inner knowing, the more we are going to come into our power and come fully alive so that we can shine our light bright. And we need that more than ever right now. So now is the time to dig deep, to do the work. It's the hardest work that we can ever do. But we need to, because we need to shine light into the darkness so that we can collectively heal all of it that needs to come up, all of it that needs to come to the surface. So all that's being exposed right now, all that's coming to the light, I really love that expression now, because now it makes even more sense than it ever did. We're bringing the dark into the light. And I just think it's a really beautiful way of looking at it. Because we are here to create a new paradigm. The current paradigm based on fear and separation and lack and scarcity is falling away, and that's what's really going on. But once we go through this crumbling of the old structures, of the old systems, of the old ways of being that aren't working for us. They haven't been working for us for quite a while, but right now it's really come to a head because Earth is ascending and we are ready to fully release it. We have to fully release it in order to fully ascend. But we are here to create the new Earth. And we are all here right now because we can handle it. You wouldn't be here if you couldn't handle it. We were all chosen to be here at this time. To go from the really spiritual perspective, we are all here for this 2020 show because 2020 is the time that we are shifting into another golden age, a new era of light and abundance and love. We are here to create a new paradigm based on cooperation. Love over fear. The fear isn't going to work anymore. So that's why it's coming up to the surface. That's why we need to transmute it. We need to heal it, release it, so that we can fully integrate and be our fullest expressions of the light beings that we truly, truly are. All of us are capable of doing this, but we do have to choose it. So I have given myself a challenge to tune in regularly because the 21st of December is supposed to be a big shift. And however you want to look at it, it is the winter solstice. It is the start of a new season, officially, the official start of winter, but also there astrologically, it's Jupiter and Saturn are coming into alignment, which is a rare occurrence. And it's also the age of Aquarius is supposed to begin. So this is literally the end of an entire era of humanity. It's actually the end of is it a 25 or 6? I always forget. 26,000 year cycle. So we are literally entering an entire new paradigm, an entire new era of humanity, but we do have to choose it. We do have to create that. We are not going to be able to just sit here passively. We have to all actively co-create this new earth. We have to actively choose the light and choose to transmute the dark, choose to face it, embrace it, transmute it, heal it, release it. So we are going to fully integrate everything as long as we keep choosing, and we are going to ascend fully into the light, one step at a time, one person at a time. Together we will rise. We will do this together. So I am going to end it there today. I intend to talk more about the current state and how to integrate the light. Oh, actually, before I get off, how do we do it at an individual level? A couple quick tips, and I'll dive deeper into this in the next few weeks. But first off, meditate. First off, anchor in that light through meditation, release the thoughts, and allow the thoughts to come up and allow yourself to see what's actually festering in there. And do the deeper emotional healing. Journal. Think, like, when triggers come up, investigate that. Figure out what it is, what's underlying that trigger. Is it really because that person cut you off in traffic, or is there something deeper that really triggered you? I doubt it's actually that you got that angry because they cut you off. It's usually a much deeper, darker root than that. It's something about disrespect or not being seen or heard. Well, that might not 100% relate to traffic, but yeah, not being able to take up space. These things can go really deep. Little things can trigger really deep-seated Wounds is the word I was looking for. So we need to heal those emotional wounds. We need to ground down and literally put our feet in the earth. I know it's colder outside these days, but connect to nature as much as possible. Go to the beach, go to a forest, go on a hike, do something, go to a park, just be out in nature as much as possible, and as much as you can, actually physically connect to the ground, skin or through cotton, any non-synthetic material. No rubber or anything like that though. And you know, soak up the sun as much as you can, get that vitamin D. Also keep your system, sorry, my battery is about to die, I got a notification, but meditate, journal, look at your emotional triggers. Breath work. Breath work is huge because it helps to move the energy and shift some of the densities that are within. So breath work is really, really powerful. So those are some of the main practices that you can use. And yeah, I had one other thing to say. Oh yes, of course. And keep your system strong, keep your body strong. So vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, that will help you, help your system be more immune to any pathogen that may come along. So you want to strengthen your system, eat the rainbow as much as possible, but yes, living real, whole, natural foods. Get as many different nutrients as you possibly can. Supplement. Don't be shy about supplementing, especially with that vitamin C. It's water soluble. You'll pee it out. Just load up your system. Don't pay attention to the RDA or whatever it's called. You can take a lot of it and you'll be fine. The more you blast your system with vitamin C, the better off you are. Vitamin D, supplement with that 100%, especially because now we are getting less light. As much natural sun as you can get, but definitely don't be shy about supplementing with that, and zinc, as well as your regular multivitamins. Magnesium is also one that we're often very deficient in, so take magnesium because it is implicated in over 300 bodily reactions, like enzymatic reactions and stuff like that. So it's super, super important, and the vast majority of us are in fact deficient. It's also, if you're not sleeping well, magnesium might be something that you really want to look at. So those are just some practical steps that you can take, and I will be sharing a lot more over the next 21 days at least. So I'm wishing you so much light and love in this holiday season. I know this is a weird year for so many of us. Many of us are struggling right now, so I am so compassionate with you wherever you are, and that's why I really wanted to come on and share this, because there is light at the end of the tunnel. The light has in fact already won. We just have to keep going. We just have to keep choosing to go in that direction. So this is Amanda Kelly with this art called Life. If you have any questions, if you need any support, I am here. I also have my course available, Rise with Resilience. Today is actually the last day to get it at the 50% off intro rate. It was in time for Gratitude Week, but today is the last day, so the price will be going up. And it's really, really accessible. And I'm sharing all the tools that I use to get through cancer and all the tools that we need to keep ourselves grounded so that we can rise up, create a really resilient foundation, and rise up no matter what. So I'll be happy to share more about that as well. And there will be another big program coming out soon. And that will be centered around healing back to wholeness. So I'm really excited to share more with you guys. This is Amanda Kelly, and I love you guys so much, sending you so much light and love. I will see you tomorrow.